dream. My four little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. I have a dream. I have a dream that one day everybody.
Sometimes I think what my life would be like if you didn't do what you've done. I'll never know the pain that you felt inside. No, those things never happened to me. No, down through the years, things have changed so dramatically. It's not like it used to be. Not how it used to be. Yeah, our differences we gotta work things out. But one thing for sure, I can be free. Yeah, I just wanna thank.
Good morning. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Very well, thanks.
Okay, so today, the Greenbay Primary School will be celebrating our Black Asian Month, and by that, I mean we'll be interviewing people who have served as community activists.
Well, thank you.
My pleasure.
Sure.
Gracious Father, we are thankful that you have given us another opportunity of life, health and strength. Father, I just want to bring this little group of young people before you today, asking you, Lord, to bless them, keep them safe and their families, and Lord, as they continue to pursue their education, Lord, we pray that they continue to look to you for your own strength and help. In Jesus' name.
Amen.
Okay, I'm glad to be here. And Black History Month is part of our culture, it's part of our heritage. We all know that we are African descendants. Everybody in India should know that we are African descendants. Our foreparents was brought to the Caribbean from Africa many moons ago. And the Caribbean as a whole is a very black culture. Most of the population of the Caribbean is black. And I'm very proud to be a black woman. I'm very proud of my heritage. I'm very proud of my culture as well. But we're here to discuss or to encourage you in what we call business or entrepreneur. Do I have anyone here that would like to have a business sometime or some point in the future? Okay, we'll see all the hands go up. Okay, I'll take it from the back. What business would you like to do?
A restaurant?
Restaurant, yes, that's an excellent business. And one of the reasons why excellent restaurant is a good business is because everybody likes to eat. Right? Anybody here don't like to eat? Okay, everybody likes to eat, so it's an excellent choice. Anybody else at the back? At the front?
I would like to be a lawyer.
A what?
Lawyer.
Why?
Because my mom said that I should be a lawyer and I'm good at it.
Oh, great. When my son, when he was small, I was encouraging him to be a lawyer because he was very talkative. And that's one of the qualities of being a lawyer, because you're going to have to be defending persons, defending people. So you're going to have to be doing a lot of talking and reading. So if that's what you want to pursue, I'm encouraging you to do lots of reading and plenty talking. Right? And you're on your way. I see one more hand. Science lab? You want to create things? You have a big imagination. Okay. Well, all of you guys know that I'm in the food business and I own and operate a supermarket. But that's not what I really wanted to do when I was growing up. When I was growing up, I wanted to be an air hostess. And I'll give you the reason why. When I was your age, I think I might have been about 8 to 9 years old. There was a lady that came to my home. She was actually the sister of an uncle of mine. She wasn't my uncle, but she was my uncle's sister on father's side. And that was 1970, 76, 78 thereabout. She came home to meet my mom because she had gone away to study and we didn't see her for decades. And when she came to my home, she was dressed so pretty. She was so beautifully clad that she caught my attention. And the reason for that is, in those days, in the 70s, you could not find a colored person in a bank working. Everybody would there were mulattoes or red, white people. You couldn't find an air hostess being a black woman. And she was dark. And it gave me a light, a ray of light that I could be anything. I was so shocked when she said she was an air hostess and she worked for the yacht. It took me aback and I said, well, I can be an air hostess too. You know, and that was my first time in my life I really knew what I wanted to do. But unfortunately, as growing up, my parents was in the same food business. Both my mom and my dad were entrepreneurs, and they had operated the same sort of business that family. They had 2 supermarkets at the time. So I was always in business. And growing up later after my mom, the business collapsed for different reasons. My mom started doing trade. She would hire a boat, a cargo boat, and she would pull them with food and spices, and she would take them all over the Caribbean. Because my father is Dominican, my mother, most of my mother family is Dominican, but they lived in Dominica, and so my mom would buy and hire a boat, one of the cargo boats at those times, and she would leave Dominica, come to Antigua, she would go to Montserrat, Antigua, St. Martin, all over the Caribbean itself. She would make straw hats, she would make baskets, she would use her hands to sew things, make souvenirs and put little logos on them for the tourists, and she would go. So I grew up seeing her doing those things. So entrepreneur was always in my family. And after I finished school, I was working with a company, and the gentleman had 3 businesses, 3 different branches in Antigua at the same time. One at the market, one in Point, and one in Graceful, which is there. And it so happened that one day there was a hurricane, I can't remember the name of it, and it destroyed one of his business. And he got the insurance money, and he told me one day, because I used to do the thing for the company at the time. And one day he came into the office and he said, "Ruth, I think I'm going to do away with that particular business, which is where I am. But I'm going to put it on the papers and advertise to find somebody that they can take over the business. They will buy the stocks from me and just continue." And all the time he said that to me, I still was not interested. And the reason for that is, I know the kind of commitment that business is, the kind of hard work. It's early morning, late nights. It's not as easy as it looks. So I wasn't really wanting to go into that. And I remember he came to the office and he said, after you go to the bank, come let's write up the stuff so I can send it to the newspaper so they can put it. And we did it. I gave it to him and I didn't really ask him anything about it. And I remember a day I came into work and he told me, come into his office, you need to talk to me. And I went in and he said, you know, I didn't put the ad in the paper. For some reason, something telling me that you are the one I should hand over the business to. I said, me? He said, no, I don't think you're wrong. And he said, yeah. Because one of the reasons I think that motivated him, as I said, I used to be the payroll of the company, and but what used to happen, I used to be in, like, you know, supermarkets have little rooms, dark rooms where you can see. Well, now you have cameras, but at the time we didn't have cameras like now where you have somebody in the room checking your cameras. We just had like a dark room and we'd be in there monitoring what was going on. But I would be in there, and after my payroll and my duties are finished, sometimes I would see the line backing up, and I would leave, go down, open the line, and get the crowd until the lines and the people then gone, and then I would come back into the office. So these little things that he used to look and he used to really appreciate it, which I did not know he used to take notes of it. And then as he called me to his office, he said, you know, I think I'm not going to put it in the paper, I think I'm going to make your offer. If you can come up with X amount of money, and blah, blah, he gave me all the details, I will hand the business over to you. So I went home and I discussed it with my family because the money that he was asking for at the time, I didn't have it. I didn't have the amount at the time. So I went home to my parents and I discussed it. And my friends said, no, we're not selling you Grace Farm because I'm the baby in the family. I'm not selling you Grace Farm because, you know, the crimes, and they told me all the excuses. But somehow after we sat down and we discussed it, and I told my parents, let's try it. You know, if it don't work, you know, it don't work. And eventually I end up going to the bank, getting the money, and secure the business.
So, Miss Ruth, that was a very inspiring story. I never heard anything like it before. So, the second question is, how long have you been operating in your business in this community?
I have been operating from 1996 until present.
Wow, that is very long, and I never see a business actually run that fast before. Your business is very ongoing. Tell us how that happens.
Because I'm a person with a big imagination, and to me, the sky is the limit.
That's what
And it is true.
So the next question is, how difficult is it conducting your business now?
Well, there are lots of challenges with business presently. Number one is because of the war that is going on. All of us should be aware of the war in Ukraine and Russia. And that has been a very big increase in the demand for food. Ukraine provides 30% of the wheat of the world. 30% of wheat, and you know we need wheat to make cereals, your cornflakes, all these foods that we enjoy, oats, cornflakes, cereals, you need wheat to make them. And Ukraine supplies 30% of the whole world wheat. And because of the war, nobody have any time to plant it. And that's why we have a lot of shortage of food. That's why the prices of food are going up rapidly. And we have seen such an increase, such a great jump. As a matter of fact, first time in my all the years of business, I'm seeing prices jump so high. Going back to the years, most time when something go up, it might be like a 50 cents, maybe $1. But now, sometimes it's $30 is added on one case of food. So you can do the math, it's really alarming. And that is because there's a lot of war. We have presently about 2 wars going on right now. Now, one between Russia and Ukraine, and we also have the one in Israel, which is between Israel and the Palestinians. So war causes a lot of problems because boats and ships cannot sail freely as they would like. I remember my mom said to me in the 1940s, I think when it was World War II, she said that food wasn't coming to the Caribbean because persons were very scared to take their boats into the water, afraid of bombing. And she said during that time they had to use cassava, sweet potatoes, green bananas, and plantain to make flour and to eat, right? And so because of the war, a lot of prices has been increasing tremendously. And we also have a lot of crimes as well, a lot of break-ins. That's one of a very big problem that we have. Sometimes you close your business and you go home, and then only to get a call at 3 a.m. and say your door is wide open, and you know you locked. Many times I've had that experience where I've got a call from either a neighbor or the Greenbay police station that asked me to come right away. So break-ins is the one, but the major one right now is the price, the rate in which the prices for food is going on. And as we are looking, I hope you guys listen to the news because it's very important to always. When I was growing up and I was your age, my parents would always allow us to watch ABS news. to watch the news. You might not be able to understand everything. But over the years, watching the news, sometimes when I come to school, I get tests on things that I learned from watching the news. And I'm able to pass the exams. So even if you don't understand everything about the news, but I'm just want to encourage you to listen to the local news as often as you can. And you'll learn something.
Encourage all of us to watch the local news. So, my next question is, who has served as an inspiration in your life?
Well, there's two particular persons that I can say that has really motivated me. My mother, first of all, she was the pusher in the family. She motivated me. She had a lot of confidence. And she's now deceased and I miss her very much. But my mom was a very, very important role in my life. As well as there was another gentleman from Alberta named Mr. Hayden Brown, who played a very important role in my life, and also a gentleman by the name of Mr. Claude Weaver. He owned Vetch International. I remember one day at church he preached a sermon because he's a great preacher, and he said that he was preaching about the talents that God gave to, it's a very nice story. You can go into the Bible and read it. And he gave one 10, he gave one 5, and he gave one 1. And the one that got the one talent went and hid it, he buried it. And the elder said to us, when he did some research on talents, one talent today worth $1 million. When he did the calculation. And he said that every one of us on the face of the earth has the ability to make $1 million. And it blew my mind because hearing the story for many, many years from different preachers, different speakers, I never got the revelation of it. I never got the understanding until he broke it down. And I said, wow. And it made my shoulder came up. I felt that I had something in me that can really be anything. And words are so important. It is so important what we say to each other. Both as adults and children, it's very important what we say. Because you never know what you say to somebody can really instigate them or really put them on the right path. Sometimes the right thing can change somebody's life forever. And when you put that into my spirit, my shoulders came up and I felt, nothing can stop me. So he's also a business person, very motivational. He has business schools, and he has so many business ideas that he always go around and share with young people. So he was very instrumental in my business and really thinking big as well.
Now that we have a talent that we just hasn't found it yet, I will pass the mic on to my colleague. He will continue the question.
My first question is, what are some activities that you have been involved in?
Well, in the community, I do a lot of donations because I don't have really much time because I'm involved in, quite a bit of things. But I give donations to like the football teams, the local football teams around Greenbay, and I also give to churches that has feeding programs, clothing and food items, food items.
Next question is, in what way has you contributed to our community?
Well, I'm very, very big on talking to young people. I always have an audience at work, always talking to young people, especially when I see they are sleeping. I'm not going to say I'm a talker, but I talk when I have to. Presently, young people are so special and they are so resourceful That I love being around young people, I love talking to them, I love playing with them, and I think I have more young friends than old friends.
So, Mr. Ellis, how long have you been operating your business in the community?
30 years.
Long time, must be a lot of patience.
How difficult is it to conduct business today compared to the past?
With everything you have to put God. And you have to be patient. Because it's not like days gone by, people used to come in a house. You might have 2 hours before a customer comes. So there's where the patience comes in.
Who or what inspired you to start your business?
When I came to live here, the shops were so far to walk to. So I decided I'm going to open a little shop. So that's how I started. And I named it A Star Is Born.
So, Mr. Ellis, how long have you been a community activist?
I would say 30 years. Because before I had my shop, I used to go around and help people. And like they said, they're hungry, cook a meal to share food with them and others.
What are some of the activities that you have been involved in?
Soap making, get persons to teach people how to make a cake from scratch, and getting food packages for the needy.
Who has been an inspiration in your life?
I have Joan Murphy, Ingrid Omar, David Spencer, Mrs. Renette Perry. Like at church, she's from the Greenbay church. I go to the Greenbay church. So with that, I was encouraged with the knowledge that I got to use it and help others.
Good afternoon, Mr. Shaw. Thanks so much for being here with us today.
You're welcome.
So I have a couple of questions for you today. So my first question is, can you tell us about yourself? That is, who is Mr. Shaw?
My name is Jason Shaw. I'm from Grace Farm. They call me Welcome. I work in a small business out of downtown, which they call some drinks. I'm currently seated as the president of Cape Georgia Drink Restoration Society. Recently elected on the 15th of February.
How long have you been operating your business in this community?
Well, it's roughly about 22 years.
I will pass the mic on to my colleague. How difficult is it to conduct business today compared to the past?
How difficult is it to conduct business now as opposed to yesterday or in the past? It's somewhat similar, but more expensive now. It's probably much easier now because of the network. You don't have to visit businesses or agencies to get things done. You can probably do it online. And more things are more accessible.
Okay. Who or what inspired you to start your business?
So we had a time, I remember that. It's like after college in 1996, I had a job for quite a few years, I think 3, 4, 5 years. And it started wasn't so good. So I got upside down and resigned. So I decided, hey, I had to do something. I took over small little cars, a cooler, and $40. Started to sell some water down here to the tourists, $2.50 to the locals. And today, yeah, it's working out.
How long have you been a community?
I must say, it has been quite some time now. It has to be sometime in the early 90s, mid-90s, latest, when they were building the King George V fencing and the building. I volunteered my services there from the outset. And ever since then, I've been working along with children and also the community.
What are some of the activities that you have been involved in?
We from team sports, voluntary sports. I've assisted many children to complete schools. I have done SBAs with school children. I have offered advanced English and other classes for about 7 years. I bought a computer, took off my front door, and gave access to anybody who wanted to do free computer class.
Who has been an inspiration? Who has been an inspiration in your life?
Many people have been. I was talking to my grandmother, my mother. My grandmother, a very hard-working woman, and she always says you have to work what you want. My mother, a single parent with 4 children, and she made me know that education is a must, and we must become somebody or else.
Good morning, sir. Thanks for being with us today.
Thank you for inviting me. I'm very, very happy to be here at my old school.
My first question, can you tell us about yourself? That is, who is Joseph Nicholas?
Well, I was born here in this community, and I went to school here at Greenbay. In those days, we had 3 blocks, or 4 or 5. The 3 blocks, we had the infants, the juniors, the seniors, then we had the home ec and the woodwork. So I went to school during those years. 1963 to 1969. Actually, I spent 6 years here, but I could skip a class along the way.
Thank you.
So,
What was your school life
Like
back in your time?
I really enjoy school here at Greenbay. And it so happened, microphone, thank you. In those days, the school was constantly short of teachers. And so, when I got to school here, there were several areas where teachers were doubling up and they had classes 30 and 40 and 50 sometimes. But because I was born in October, I had to wait until I was actually 5 years old to get into school, which means I came to school here when I was almost 6 years old. And then something special happened. Our teacher in Junior 2 resigned and left school. The teacher in Junior 3 also left the school. Then there were 2 classes without any teacher. The headmaster at the time was Mr. Irvin Samuel, and he lived in the house by him. That was the headmaster's house. So he brought those 2 classes together, Junior 2A and Junior 3A together. And he had us under this building here. It used to be the shed. For years, this swing along the main rafters and had fun. It was a play area where it's rained. And so after a while, he said, look here, Junior 2A and Junior 3A would be Junior 3A. So I automatically, within 1 year, moved from Junior 2A to Junior 3A. And so it allowed me to share 6 years here at Greenbay School. They were wonderful, wonderful years. And until I shared, I was very, very inspired. I worked hard, did very well.
Who or what inspired you to become a pastor?
God inspired me to be a pastor. When I left school at PM in 1974, all I wanted to do was to get a job. Most of my fellow students were sending out applications all over, to the airlines, to the banks, to cable and wireless, to everybody else. I sent out one application. That was to the Ministry of Agriculture. And I knew he had a job there. And I thought, there must be vacancy there. Well, I got an interview, called to go to the ministry there for an interview. When I got there, it was an interview not for the Ministry of Agriculture, but for the Antigua and Barbuda Development Bank. They were just about to start the bank in 1974. And so Mr. Benjamin, I remember him very well, he said to me, okay, when results come out, you must come back. Well, guess what? I did not go back because I did not apply to any bank for a job. I just did not go back. I did not ask for a job in the bank. But all of this was because God was preparing something for me. I got into teaching because I really needed a job. I enjoyed teaching. And within the first few months of being in teaching, God showed me that the ministry was what God wanted me to do for the rest of my life. That happened almost 48 years ago, 1975, April. Almost 49 years now, yes. And I've never regretted making that turn. I went to college in 1978, I graduated and was ordained in 1982. And I thoroughly enjoy ministry and all that God has been doing for me and with me. I'm extremely, extremely grateful to God for bringing me thus far.
In what way have you contributed to your community of Grace Green?
Well, in small ways. In small ways. I believe that every one of us from this community who emerges, we add something to our community. And I've been privileged in many ways. 1975 June, some of us who were teachers here got with some of the senior 3 students, and we organized the Grace Green Community Club. We had a few others who were outside of Greenbay School. They were not teachers, they were just folks in the community, young people. They joined us. We had the Grace Green Community Club. And we used to have an annual party for children. 200, 300 people would come right here on this compound. Eventually the club did not survive, and so we have remembered the name. But I tell you this one thing, in 1976, we had a newsletter, simple newsletter, and I happened to have been the person doing all the secretarial work and being the editor as well for the newsletter. And that newsletter was called The Call. And in one edition in 1976, we invited the entire community. Let us stop emphasizing Greenbay, Grace Farm, Tin Village, Donovan's, Gray Hill, Cooks Hill, Hatton, Five Islands. Let's call ourselves the Grace Green community. So when we get the name Grace Green now, because it was started back there through our invitation, the Grace Green Community Club. And I'm so grateful that so many people over the years have embraced the concept of Grace Green Community. And so we, just one small way we contributed, I was asked to write the story of the Empire Football Club, champion club in the country for many years. Many of you know Empire, right? Yes. So, Empire celebrated its 50th anniversary in 2012. And they asked me to write the story of Empire. The book is out, has been out now for several years. It's called two words. What do you do when you play football? What do you do when you play football? You kick ball. So the book is called Kicking Ball. Kicking Ball. That's the title of the book. The subtitle is How 50 plus years of Empire Football promote the term Grace Green, empowered Grace Green people. How 50 plus years of Empire Football empowered Grace Green people. That's very important because many of us who came up in the 70s, we saw the power and championship of Empire Football. There were doctors out there, professors out there, lawyers out there, engineers out there, teachers out there, all sorts of technicians, carpenters and masons who are excellent in their trade, who are out there, and they will tell you they were inspired because of the power and success of the Empire Football Club. Cheers to Empire Football Club. Come on now. My first book, however, was about the history of the school, between the school and the church. And so we don't have too many copies around now, but I gave several copies to the school over the years. Ms. Christian keeps reminding me of trying to find one more copy, but I've tried my best. But that was my first publication. It says, the story, the Moravians at Greenbay, the story of church and school. I've published a few more books since that time, but I'm certainly very happy to be able to write something, because after I'm no longer around, whatever I've learned will die with me, or whatever I've written, you will have a chance to read long after I'm gone.
Good afternoon, Miss Prince. Thank you for being here. I hope all is well.
Thank you. Yes, sir. All is well. How is everybody?
My first question is, if you can tell us a bit about yourself.
Sure. Good afternoon. What is my name?
Miss Prince.
Excellent. My name is Miss Bonnie Prince. You guys are going to call me Miss Prince, okay? Yes, my name is Bonnie Prince. I am the secretary of the Greenbay Primary School. And I'm very dedicated to what I do.
on a serious note. And honestly, I have served the school and the community with pride. Thank you.
How long have you been a secretary at the school?
Oh. To me, I've been at the Greenbay Primary School forever, but I started working at the Greenbay Primary School in the year 1992. So this September, guess what?
What?
This September 2024 is going to make me 32 years at the Greenbay Primary School.
Wow, that's a long day. How many principals have you worked with at the school?
From 1992 to present, it's been 7 principals. Starting with Mr. Hollis Francis, who was the first principal when I started and I met him. And I could give you the names of the others. Hollis Francis, which was the first principal when I started working at Greenbay Primary School. Then Delrose Francis, another Francis. Monica Isaac. Christopher Roberts. Denise Solomon. Jose Joseph. Genevieve Gums. And presently who?
Miss Christian.
Miss Christian, excellent. I would advise all to get a very good education and please to stay in school and stay focused. Young people for today, they tend to get in a lot of trouble. So I am advising all students to stay in school and stay focused on your education.
I would advise you all to seek God. Have manners. Learn a lot. Put God first in whatever you are doing. Learn how to pray. Talk to God in your own way. Prayer is not big words. You just talk to God.
The most important thing is having a mind of your own. And I'm saying that I have no peer pressure, but I can't generalize. I've been through it. You have to first know what you want as an individual. Whether you want to go on the left side or the right side, you determine that. You must listen to teachers, adults, even your peers. Make your own decisions, make proper decisions. At the end of the day, we as adults are to guide you. Listen to us, and if a chance you run into a situation that you cannot handle, think fast, think quick, but try to get out. And in that situation, do not fight the losing battle, run. Please listen, look, observe, and make wise decision. That is called wisdom.
Don't let anyone tell you who you are if it's not good. Anybody who tells you you're no good, tell them you have another story. Too many people try to put others down. Do not allow anybody to put you down. It doesn't. Who you are is not dependent on what you have materially. Don't forget that. Your parents will work hard for you. They will love you. And once they love you, you know you have a partner watching your back. And you make sure everyone who tries to tell you otherwise, do the best you can to make sure you prove them wrong. Don't follow that company. And when you see trouble is coming, take up your bag, take up your books, go home. It's no good getting into a fight with anybody. That's one way the bully, gets you, because the bully knows where the cameras are. The bully knows where the teachers are coming. And so the bully beats you up when they are not coming. And as soon as you try to fight back, there is a teacher, there is a police, and you get arrested. So try to avoid that. But God says, even the hairs on your head are nothing. You are special to God. Even the hairs on your head are nothing. You are special. And you must think of yourself as special. I come here because they think you're special and they want to be with you. I come to share the Bible with you. But I come also because I want to be with you at my school, at my community. Just to see you all. Say hello, how you all doing? Keeping well? Great. It matters to me to see you when I come. And then we share the Bible and love God together. But do not allow anybody to tell you you're no good. You all have gifts. And you will prove many people wrong. Develop the gift you have, whatever that gift is. If it's to play netball, the basketball, if it's just to cook, you make sure you do that. Become a teacher, become a lawyer, become a nurse. Whatever you choose to do, make sure you put the best that you can into it. Remember, every one of us who does well, all of us do well. All of us.
Having your own business as a young black person is the way out of poverty. One of the things going into business I always do is I observe. I have made a lot of friends with Chinese, Syrians, people that is from different ethnic groups, so that I can go into their minds and have an idea how they look at life and how they look at business. And one of the things I've noticed about the Chinese, whenever he starts a business at Market Street, for the next 50 to 100 years, it's always a Chinese has a business there. Their secrets handed down to the next generation. The tradition continues. But what I've noticed with our people, they have a business, it's not doing well, they just give up the building and they close down the shop. And then that's the end of Bargain Center. That's the end of Silver Lining. We never hear anything about them. But what I do, I study them and I take pages out of their history and I apply it to my business and it's working. It doesn't make sense to open a business and you're not going to be there. So remember, if you're not a hard worker, if you're not dedicated, it doesn't make sense. It makes you work for somebody, so when 4 o'clock comes, you can take up your bag and leave. When you're in a business, you don't have that privilege. You sometimes have to stay the whole day, sometimes somebody calls sick, and you have to do that shift. But, as I said, the reward is tremendous. Just before I conclude, at this present moment, I have a project that myself and a pastor, Ollie Brown, is going to be working on. We will be doing some, because one of it is centered around young people, especially teenagers. What we have been noticing, you have a teenager doing the first crime and all they do is send them to jail. They send them for remand. A young person is going off the head, they turn down somebody or they break a windscreen, they turn it into a crime and they put them in jail. When they come out, they just continue the trend. I think that Antigua is a boot camp for young people, where they can take them, not scare it, but a place where ex-police, ex-nurses, persons that have time can work with them, nurture them back and put them back in society. Too many of our young people are going into prison for things, not that they didn't do, but at the time they wasn't in the right mind and they didn't understand. Because most of our homes are broken. So I believe sometime in the future you'll be hearing about it here putting things into place where we'll be coming around to schools and in the community with petitions from parents and teachers to get the government to come on board to give us like a location or building process. So that is my next project that myself and some other persons will be working on, because we have a pandemic right now with our young people. Every time you run down the street, you see a new crazy person on the street. And as a mother of 3 boys, it's painful, because sometimes all the person needs is somebody just to talk to them and spend some time with them. So you will be hearing more of that project as it comes out. Thank you very much.
Very much for sharing your thoughts and ideas with us. We hope to see your project in the future. I hope it comes up big. Thank you for sharing your thoughts.
My 4 little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. I have a dream.
Sometimes I think what my life would be like if you didn't do what you've done. I'll never know the pain that you felt inside. No, those things never happened to me. No, down through the years, things have changed so dramatically. It's not like it used to be. Not how it used to be. Yeah, our differences we gotta work things out. But one thing for sure, I can be free.